Okay, welcome everybody to this second webinar that we're having for the year. We're very happy that you're here. And for those who came for our first webinar, welcome back. And for those who are joining for the first time, welcome. And thank you for taking time out to join us for our Critical Illness Series 2 webinar. So for today, our topic will be early detection and prevention of critical illness. If you have joined us for the first one, we've actually discussed about the difference between medical card as well as critical illness coverage. So we discovered the difference. And from now, we have invited a guest speaker, Dr. Tharmaraj, to talk about early detection and prevention of critical illness. If you have not joined us for our first webinar, we have actually uploaded the video on our YouTube channel, Y Associate YouTube channel. So you can go there and check it out if you have not joined us for our first webinar. But before we start, let me just tell you to stay all the way to the end, because at the end, for those who have participated in our lucky draw, Y Associate Ambassador Bonanza, we are doing our lucky draw then. So for those who have given us any names to call, leads, every lead will give you one name. And towards the end of the webinar, we will give you the lucky draw. So to start it off, let me first just welcome you. This webinar is run by Y Associate, and in Y Associate, we have 6 partners. So the founding partner, his name is Mr. Harold Y. There are 5 other partners, Mr. Casey, Miss Peggy, Mr. Greg, Mr. Victor, and Mr. Jasper. They have extended their welcome to you for joining this webinar as well. Before I pass the time to the moderator for today for the Q&A session with Dr. Tharmaraj, let me just first introduce our moderator. So he has a background in law and also marketing. He has joined us as a life planner in December 2019, and he's one of our up and coming life planner. He did very well last year. He is part of the AIA Elite Pro program. So if you see the video just now, he is part of the program. And he has actually achieved his rising star back in 2020. So without further delay, let me just welcome Mr. Harry Raj, our life planner, to moderate this session. Mr. Harry, to you.
Hi, thank you, Kaming, for the introduction. A very good evening to all of our participants today. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Welcome to Series 2 of our Y Associates Critical Illness webinar. And today we will be joined by Dr. Tharmaraj, who, as mentioned, is a physician at Buloh Hospital. Without further ado, let's welcome our speaker, Dr. Tharmaraj. Hi, Dr. Tharma.
Hi. Good evening.
Hi. Could you give us a short introduction on yourself?
Yeah, hi. So I'm Tharma, born and bred in Kuantan. Did my primary medical degree in University of Otago, New Zealand. Worked in Kuantan for a couple of years. Finished up my specialization in 2019, and currently I'm practicing in Buloh. So I've been here since October last year. All right.
Oh, so you joined when the pandemic was at its worst?
Yeah, pretty much, just in time.
Okay, all right. Thank you for the introduction. Today, we have a series of questions regarding critical illness, and we would also be touching on COVID-19. If anybody has any questions, please do type it in the Q&A box. All right, so let's get into it. For the first question here, could you name a few of the common critical illnesses suffered by Malaysians?
All right. So yeah, I was just looking back at the slides for the critical illness, and it covers a wide range of medical illnesses. But the common ones which I usually encounter are obviously cardiac diseases, so heart attacks, valve problems, etc., strokes, and also kidney and lung and liver problems as well. So the most common ones, if you ask me, would probably be heart, so your heart attacks, your strokes, and also kidney failure at this point in time.
Okay, so a lot of younger people are getting critical illnesses earlier this time nowadays. What are the main contributory factors to this, and how do we prevent it?
Okay, so I mean, just based on the 3 illnesses I was talking about earlier, the main contributory factors are diabetes and hypertension. Like you said, a lot of young people are suffering from these illnesses. Yeah, basically it's a spectrum. So you get a lot of people get diabetes and hypertension early in life, and it slowly worsens, and the end of the spectrum is your strokes, your kidney failure, and your heart attacks, etc. So the main contributing factors are diabetes and hypertension.
So this is mainly due to things like your lifestyle and so on, is it?
Yeah, so like anything, there's two ways of looking at it. One is genetics and it's environmental. So like you're talking about your diet, no, it's mostly environmental. So your lifestyle, your diet, yeah, so it's all those kinds of things.
All right, so you mentioned genetics earlier. How does genetics play a part in causing a critical illness?
So genetics is basically, yeah, you're just born with it. You can't really do much. What I mean is, if you have a predisposition or your family has a predisposition for heart problems, you're more likely to get it compared to a person who doesn't have a family history. But in saying that, that's where you have to alter your environment. So you try and detect things earlier. If you have any predisposing medical illnesses like diabetes or hypertension, then you want to control it stricter and make sure you're within whatever ranges which are allocated so that you don't end up at the end of the spectrum with heart attacks and strokes, etc.
Okay, you mentioned detecting these illnesses early. How do we detect these illnesses early, and what are the common symptoms that we can look out for?
Okay, so like anything, prevention is better than cure. So in saying detecting early, I guess if you do your medical checkups, I think at a younger age, at least once a year is appropriate. And as you age further, then more frequent follow-ups or frequent checks are needed. In terms of symptoms, so like I said, the critical illness is such a huge, basically it covers too many diseases as far as the heart, lungs, and all this.
Yes.
You know, diabetes and hypertension. Diabetes, usually the first three things we say is you feel thirsty a lot, you urinate a lot, there's weight loss. Those are symptoms. Hypertension, normally you get symptoms once it's very late. So like your headaches and all that are very late in the stage where you've probably had it for a long time, probably affects your vision and things like that. So things for like hypertension is probably just checking your blood pressure occasionally. I guess, you know, if you're
So you
younger.
can do that at your GP and so on.
Yeah, yeah. So even if you go for your normal cough and cold, you normally take your blood pressure. At a young age, it shouldn't be high. So even if you have a high fever, etc., if it's, you know, significantly higher, then I would say maybe a week or 2 weeks later, just double check as well.
Okay, okay. All right, so we'll go to the next question. There are illnesses that are hard to diagnose and do not tend to surface on a standard medical checkup. What are the supplementary medical checkups that you think we require?
Yeah, so this question is a bit hard to answer because it's quite vague. But the way I look at it is like we were talking about medical checkups. So medical checkups does depending on where you go and what facilities they have, they cover in general, the basics would be a blood test to look at your full blood counts, your kidney function, your liver function, your cholesterol, your sugars, and all that. Diseases that are hard to pick up, I mean, those like, I'm just guessing here, I mean, things like Parkinson's and things like that, it's not even in the bloods. It's a clinical diagnosis, so you have to see a physician to make the diagnosis. So those kinds of things would not come up in a medical checkup per se. It wouldn't come up in bloods per se, but it can come up when they do their examination. Supplementary medical checkups normally would be advised by the doctors who you see. So if they find something abnormal in your checkup, then you go for supplementary. So you wouldn't jump to supplementary before even speaking to a doctor about the normal basic ones first.
Okay, so basically you do your standard medical checkup, and only if it is needed, then only you recommend us to take any other medical checkups.
Yeah, so I guess someone would go for supplementary or anything if a close close relative, or someone who they know very well, or they're related to have a certain problem, and they kind of feel like they have the same symptoms, then they would maybe jump into that straight away. But if not, in general, you would just go for your general medical checkup. From there, if they pick up anything and if they're advised to go, then you would go.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that leads us to our next question. Hospitals have packages for medical checkups, and this usually costs quite a lot. Would you recommend taking up these packages, and why?
Okay. I think, like what I said earlier, each medical checkup will be slightly different depending on who you see and what facilities you have. So a newer hospital or a bigger hospital may have more facilities, so they may include other tests other than your basic. Just for example, if you go to a GP or a clinic, they would probably do a normal medical check, as in they will examine you and they will take bloods and they will advise you after the bloods come back. If you go to a hospital, a private hospital, they may have a machine there to do your stress test, or they may have ultrasound machine. So I guess saying that it's expensive is probably a bit vague, because it will depend on what you actually get from it. Depending on what you can afford or what are you worried about, then I guess you can choose any of it. But like anything, it depends on where you are at that stage. If you're younger, you feel very well, you just want reassurance, then a normal check will be fine. If you're a bit older and you have some symptoms, or you worry about certain symptoms, then maybe going for a so-called more thorough medical checkup may be fine. So it depends. Would I recommend going for one? At least the basic should be, you should go for at least the basic once to twice a year.
So your recommendation is do your basic checkups, and only if you require any other ones, then you go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for the next question, what are some of the costs incurred during treatment of a critical illness? Basically, when a patient suffers from a critical illness.
Yeah. So similarly, I guess when you say a critical illness, it covers like 60, 70 diseases, which is covered by the insurance. So it's a bit arbitrary. Cost-wise, as far as I'm concerned, all my 9-10 years of working career has been in public sector, so I don't really know the exact cost, but there are acute costs. So cost when you just get it, say a heart attack, acute costs would be for hospitalization, for stenting, for angiogram, etc. And also there'll be a recovery cost. So we may say take 6 weeks off from work before you can start going back to work normally, and also the lifelong cost of medication after that. So and it all depends on each illness. So that's heart attacks. If you get cancer, that would depend on the type of cancer and what kind of treatment you're on. Some are chemotherapy for certain cycles, some are oral newer agents which are lifelong. So it all varies, and it depends as well. I mean, a heart attack, within 6 weeks you may be able to go back to work. If unfortunately you suffer a stroke, it will depend on what kind of deficits you have. Certain people have deficits which may not be able to go back to work after that. It just depends, actually.
Okay. So that leads us to our next question, actually. What are the main difficulties faced by these patients recovering from a critical illness?
Okay. Yeah, so it all differs on a type of illness. Say like someone who's had a stroke, main difficulties would be, because like something like a stroke, there's no cure, right? It's just prevention of further strokes, prevention of complications from the stroke. So the difficulties faced by them would probably be, I guess, the determination, motivation to gain back their mobility. A lot of times it's a lot to do with physiotherapy, and in that time frame, a lot of people lose their jobs. Family members are also affected because they have to do a lot of things. They have to sacrifice a lot of things. So difficulties depends on the type of illness. and it's just doesn't involve just the patient, but also family and their surrounding as well.
Yes, basically it's a continuous journey that they must all go through together as a family, and there'll be recurring costs along the way as well. It's there for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So let's get into the topic of COVID-19 now. What is the current situation in your hospital, since it's the Center for Infectious Disease in Malaysia?
Okay. Yeah. So Sungai Buloh is basically we handle most of the patients in Selangor and KL.
Yeah. You've been there since September, right?
Yeah, September, October. So initially we were the only hospitals who was taking COVID patients. So up until December we were quite full. Now they've opened the center in Maib, so a lot of the patients who are well are sent there. So that's taken.
Quarantine centers, is it?
Yeah. So Maib's in Serdang is a quarantine center. They're handling quite a number of patients who are probably better off, as in they're not so bad off. And so that's taken a lot of burden away from us, which is good. So if you ask me what's the situation like currently, it's slightly better. It's also, you see your daily numbers have also reduced, especially after the recent MCO. So yeah, it's getting slightly better compared to what it was in December.
Oh, so you do see it recovering now?
I see the numbers coming down. I see the number of patients coming into our hospital being less, but it's a slow progress. I mean, we're getting there.
Yeah, and with the vaccination now, it should improve and would help the healthcare workers as well, right?
Yeah. So yeah, with the rollout of vaccine, we hope that the situation slowly improves and becomes back to what it was, I guess.
Okay. Well, for the next question, what is the likelihood of a positive patient requiring a ventilator?
Okay. Very simply, the numbers are low in terms of if you have a few thousand, maybe less than 10. So the percentages wise is less than 5%. But what's the likelihood? Older patients who have other medical problems like lung problems, heart problems, kidney problems, they are the ones who we see more often being ventilated. But that does not say that a young person is not ventilated as well. So we've seen the whole spectrum, but in the big picture, most people who are advanced stage, who have other predisposing medical conditions, they are more likely to go onto a ventilator. So a well person who doesn't have anything very rarely goes on a ventilator.
But it still does happen, and young people still do end up on the ventilators, right?
Yep. So there's no such thing as if you're young, you're fine, all that. It's the luck of the draw, really.
Okay. All right. So in your opinion, when do you think the situation will begin to improve and we can get back to the normal?
I think it's constantly evolving. We don't really know when, but I guess with the aim of vaccinating 80-something% of our population by early next year, then so-called herd immunity is achieved, and that's when everyone aims to get better. So when will it improve? I'm optimistic that it'll improve at least by the second half of this year. It will improve, but whether it will completely go back to normal, I'm not so sure at the moment.
You mentioned a herd immunity. What does that entail?
Oh, okay. So when the whole thing first started, like certain countries in like Switzerland, Scandinavian countries were thinking of herd immunity. So if you get enough people, if they get enough people infected, then they'll develop antibodies from it, and then it's like how we vaccinated for polio and whatnot. When you vaccinate enough people have got immunity to it, then the virus can't spread to each other. So that's yeah. So, yep.
Okay, so I have a few questions here.
Sure.
One question was, shall we register for vaccinations?
For me, 100%. I'm taking mine
Okay.
next week. I already got, so to me, it's a no-brainer. Kind of have to do it. You don't have many other options, to be very honest. Do you wait until you get infected? Would you take the chance of being on a ventilator? So yeah, a lot of things.
Okay, wait, let me see. Okay, so we have the next question here from Kim Seng. Do we still need to put on a mask after we are vaccinated?
Okay, so what's the purpose of the mask? The mask was initially, the main purpose is to protect yourself, right? But in this case, a lot of times the mask is to protect others around you. So, I mean, your surgical mask, three-ply mask, viruses are so small that it probably go pass through it. So that when we wear masks, if we sneeze, we don't spread it, not because it's to keep you safe per se. Whether we have to wear masks after this, most likely until you get your herd immunity and everything's okay, you probably still end up wearing masks because you don't walk around with a stamp of being vaccinated, yes or no, right? So most likely they will just still make it a rule for everybody to wear masks for now.
Until it's all cleared up and there is 0 cases. So there's another question here. Okay, so someone with a medical history, should they take the vaccination, considering that there could be adverse effects from it as well?
So current guidelines, everyone can take the vaccination unless you have had anaphylactic reaction. So very bad allergic reactions to certain vaccines or to certain medication, then we're more careful. But otherwise, if you have other medical illnesses, I would say you still have to take the vaccine. Why? Because if unfortunately you do get COVID, you're at a higher risk. So these individuals probably would benefit more from a vaccine than someone who's well off.
Okay, so you would suggest that they take it?
Yeah, so I think if at a situation where they don't have enough vaccines and they have to vaccinate certain number of people, then the high risk group should get it lah. So those who would probably be more vulnerable to getting severe COVID.
So there's another question here in regards to critical illness. So you mentioned do a normal medical checkup. So what does a normal medical checkup entail? Is it just blood tests, urine tests, BP, what else?
So like I said earlier, it ranges. It ranges from who you see to where you go and what you want to find out. What, in my mind, what a normal medical checkup would be if you go to a doctor, a general practitioner, a clinic, you say I want to do a checkup, they would ask you of your history, and then they probably do your BP, your sugars, just do a general check of your lungs, heart, everything, and probably blood tests. If you are more of an advanced age and you're at risk of certain diseases, then they might suggest to do a few other things.
Okay. Let me look at some of the questions on the panel.
Let me just jump in a little while, Harry. So for those who are having their own questions, do put into the Q&A section, because I think we also want to find this webinar useful for us. So if you have any burning question on your own, do feel free to put it in the Q&A section, and Dr. Tharmaraj will try to answer your questions as well. Back to you, Harry.
All right. Okay. There's actually one question in the Q&A section now. It is, hi, I want to ask if the vaccine is actually safe, because there seems to be severe side effects that has been reported, for example, blindness.
Okay. Right. There are a few vaccines around. Traditionally, any vaccine that is developed over time. It's rolled out over time, and there are normally quite a few phases before vaccines are released. However, in this case, because of the severity of COVID and how fast it spreads, they have created vaccines very quickly and tried to get it approved as fast as possible. Like I said earlier, everything we do, there's risk and benefit. So if you drive to work every day, there's risk. You might be safer by walking, but driving is faster, it's more convenient, so we do it. So similarly, any vaccine, all the vaccines which you take, even if you take a flu vaccine every year, the risks are there. The main ones are like anaphylaxis. Anaphylaxis is a reaction where you get a severe allergic reaction, where your BP, your blood pressure can be very low. You can have difficulty breathing that can even cause you to die, actually. So similarly, any vaccine or any medication or anything we do has got risk and benefit. I think the serious side effects are there, but it's with like everything else. It's like with every medication you take, and somebody can have a severe allergic reaction to antibiotics. So it's similar to that, and it's not higher than any other reaction. That's why it's been allowed to be rolled out, actually.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is it's safe for us to take it, and we should
so it's probably not worse off than any other vaccine at the moment. But yes, of course, over time, and now with many more people getting vaccinated, we'll get more data, and it's a fluid situation, so it will change from time to time. And like even your side effects, maybe blindness was 1 out of a few thousand. Now with millions of people taking, maybe it'll be 4 or 5 out of a million. We don't know what we might react to, so it's hard to say. But if you ask me whether it's safe or not, at the moment it's not worse off than any other vaccine.
So it's the lesser of two evils. It's might as well you take it instead of not taking it at all.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there's another question here from Rizwan. Why are some mandatory vaccines overseas only optional in Malaysia? I think this is vaccines in general.
So I need, if you can be specific, be better. But certain things like yellow fever, etc., is not that common here, so it's probably not mandatory. But when you talk about vaccines, it's pneumococcal,
pneumococcal.
So pneumococcal, it's probably less prevalent here. Now a lot of children do take it, but not adults. Patients who have had a splenectomy, so if their spleen is removed, they are given pneumococcal vaccine. Patients with very bad lungs are given pneumococcal vaccine as well, but it's not mandatory, yes. Most likely because it's not as prevalent as overseas.
Okay, so let me see. Does anybody else have any questions? You can just type it in the Q&A box. Let me check. Yeah, so here there's there's a question from Kim saying, my annual medical checkup is just blood test, but my friend is doing the comprehensive one with stress test. Is that really necessary? If yes, do we do stress test every year?
Okay, very simple. Stress test is to look for early signs of a heart problem. Okay. Do we do a stress test for everybody? No. Generally, no. In public, in our government setting, you would do a stress test if you have symptoms. So if you have chest pain, especially when you exit yourself, those kinds of things, then we would investigate. If the stress test is positive, then you would do an angiogram. So similarly, like what I said earlier, it depends on the facility you go to. If that facility has all this, they may offer it as an option. Do you need to do one every year? I don't think so, no.
So does that depend on your age as well? If you're in your 40s, say you don't require it, or maybe later on, or not, the age doesn't really matter?
To me, it's more of a, if you have the symptom, then you investigate it. But a lot of people after a certain age, they may do it just so that they feel better. I mean, just for the peace of mind.
Yeah, sometimes that's better anyway, right?
Yeah. So I mean, if you can run on a treadmill every day, then a stress test is, you're just proving the point, lah. But so it's one of the tools which we use before doing angiogram. So angiograms is an invasive procedure. There's risk involved. So a stress test, you do that before you do an invasive procedure.
Okay. We have one last question here. Will the COVID vaccine be made mandatory in your opinion, especially if the take-up is low by the end of the year?
In my opinion, it will never be made mandatory. I don't think you can just. I haven't seen any other countries making it mandatory yet, right? Does anyone? Yeah. So I don't think so. But eventually, with more data and more people being vaccinated, I think people will eventually, hopefully, take it.
Okay. All right. I think that's all for questions for today. Thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedule to be with us here. We at Y and Associates truly appreciate it. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right. So from this, I think we can conclude that a healthy lifestyle and regular checkups are very important to prevent critical illness. I hope you found that information valuable. Our next speaker of the day will be sharing on a comprehensive critical illness plan brought to you by AIA. Kim Seng was a regional head of department in the corporate workforce and is currently an elite pro-life planner with AIA, just like me. Welcome, Kim Seng. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Tharmaraj. Thank you, Doctor. Sorry. Can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Sorry.
Yes, we can.
Very good. Thanks. Let me pull out my screen. Just one moment. Harry, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Good. All right. Good evening, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Kim Seng, one of the elite pro-life planner with AIA and Y Associates. So yes, AIA is one insurance company to promote healthier, longer, and better life. Therefore, I would like to take the opportunity tonight, to introduce one of the comprehensive solutions that can help you to prevent, protect, and support in the event of critical illness strike. So, just to recap, what have you learned so far in our critical illness webinar series 1 and 2? Well, I have taken 3 key points to share with you guys. Okay, number 1 is we often overload regular health check, due to our busy lifestyle. Okay, I'm not sure with you all. Okay, but I have set that in my calendar, that I have to do this every end of the year. Okay, one thing is because of the regular health check is considered mandatory at my age now, and well, another reason is because that is tax relief. That can be tax relief as well. So that is one key reason. Well, number 2 is critical illness are getting more common than you think. Okay, especially heart attack, stroke, and cancer. Okay, and it's getting more common in the younger generation as well. Well, the third one is a high treatment cost and also no income should I be unable to work and to get the right support for recovery. Okay, and you can see the little table there that we have. There's the averaging the cost, the averaging cost for treatment of the popular critical illness in Malaysia. Okay, so I guess one question that I have to throw to everyone here is, do you currently have a solutions that can help you to prevent, to do an early prevention and detections, and the stress of to stress on the importance of the early treatment that can also give you a high early stage coverage, okay, and to support your recovery journey. So ask yourself a question: do you have that? If not, then welcome to AIA, A Life Beyond Critical Care. I would like to introduce you this comprehensive healthcare that introduced by AIA. Okay, so well, first of all, no, this product, it actually covers not just the common 36 type of critical illnesses, but a comprehensive of 180 conditions, okay, ranging from the early stage to advanced stage. And most importantly, 100% payout even as early stage. You see, we don't normally get that because 100% payout usually is on the, probably intermediate or the advanced stage. But I guess we all understand how important the payout is, because that is really important to support our recovery journey. Though you may already have a medical card to support the hospitalization or treatment costs, but we have to acknowledge that, if that ever strike, one question is, can we really continue to work, okay, to get income to support our livings, okay? And yeah, so that is one of the key selling point, that we get 100% payment even in early stage. So let's move on. If you wonder, in case you wonder, here are the 76 categories of the critical illness, and it further break down into 180 conditions of early, intermediate, and advanced conditions. So I'm not going to go through that one by one, it's going to be, it's a long listing of 180 conditions there. So what about COVID-19? We have talked about COVID-19 just now, okay, and other illnesses or even accident which required admissions to ICU. Is that considered as a critical illness? And the answer is yes. As long as 5 consecutive days in ICU requiring mechanical ventilations, yes, that is kind of critical already, and that is entitled for 100% payout if these conditions happen. Well, again, if given a choice, we wouldn't want it to happen. Therefore, we encourage you to get your health check regularly, okay, at our expense if you have a Vitality membership with us, okay. If you have not heard about Vitality membership brought to you by AIA, speak to your life planner. That is a very interesting membership that keep you healthy, and active. Well, depending on the Vitality status, whether being bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, okay, you can reimburse up to 600 ringgit for health screening every 2 years, okay. This benefit is made to you after your policy has been enforced for 1 year. Next. Again, we never left out the recovery support, even though the policy has been fully paid, following a critical illness event. So we give 5% of the basic sum assured. Okay, if the policy worth 100,000 coverage, you can claim up to 5,000. Okay, for 1 year in all 4 of these activities. So that will give you some relief, when it comes to medication consultations and follow on. Now, here are the questions, that often in the patient's mind and even in my client minds, following the diagnosis of critical illness. Okay, the questions can be, it can be from the diagnosis stage, treatment, or recovery. Okay, let's take a look at for example, is my diagnosis really accurate? Shall I go for a second opinion, or a third opinion or fourth opinion until I'm satisfied with it? Or which treatment is the most suitable? What doctor, which doctor and the hospital are the best? I am a life planner, even I receive these questions from my clients, okay? It it is understandable. But I can tell you that it isn't an easy question to answer when life matters. Don't you agree with me? So what do we have for this patient? We have this service called Personal Medical Case Management, PMCM, as part of the Total Healthcare Solutions. Now, this service, it gives you the access to the world's leading specialists who will review and re-evaluate your medical conditions, okay, your diagnosis reports, okay, and it can even give you recommendations on the medical based on your diagnosis. So there is even a 24 hours and 7 days medics hotline for every accepted case. And it even has this ongoing guidance and support up to 1 year. And for your information, this service is powered by medics, and it gives you the advice, you know, although it gives you the advice, however, all expenses incurred under this, all medical treatment expenses incurred will not be covered under this service. Okay, it will be covered either by the 100% payout that you get from this product, or it will be covered by your medical card. But you will get all these questions that I have raised just now being answered, you know, by a group of specialists, okay, based on the diagnosis that you have performed. So, well, in the event of worst case scenario, okay, we pay up 10% of the basic sum assured or cash value, whichever is higher, okay. Of course, we wouldn't want this to happen. Therefore, we shall look at this maturity benefit. If nothing ever happened, okay, and this is the best that we can wish for, you know, we wouldn't want anything, you know, to have this critical illness event to happen in our life. You either receive 150% of all the premium that you have paid, okay, or 100% of all the premiums that you have paid, okay, as a maturity benefit at the age of 80 years old. Let me give you an example. You know, I am currently 41 years old, okay? So therefore, you know, if I enroll to this policy, you know, and at the age of 80, it will be matured, okay? And what do I get? I will just take back 100% of the premiums that I pay to AIA, okay? And that is the benefit I will be getting for as a maturity. And if you're younger, if you're 40 years old and below, oh sorry, you have to be below the age of 40 years old, you get even more, you get 150% of all the premiums that you pay as a maturity benefit. So not only that, okay, AIA Vitality membership, we simply like to reward you, okay, for choosing a healthy lifestyle with us, okay? So we give you up to 20% of your basic annualized premium every year, depending on your vitality status. Okay, of course, if you're at bronze status now or even silver status, you're gonna work harder to at least gold status so that you can take back your 10%, you know, of your basic annualized premium. Or the best is 20% if you're at platinum status. So let me summarize this, okay, as a total health solutions, okay, what does A Life Beyond Critical Care provides? Number one, it helps you to understand your health, okay, that is very important. That's why we encourage you to do health screening, and we give you up to 600 ringgit to do it every 2 years. And number two, we help you to manage your health, okay? We give you yearly cash bonus, okay, by staying active. Number three, we help you to manage your illness, okay? There is 100% payout even in the early stage, okay? There's no need to wait for the intermediate or the advanced stage. We pay out 100%. We have medics, the PMCM service, that help you to go through the difficult moment of making a decisions, okay? It's not about money anymore. It's about making the right decisions, you know, what treatment and, you know, to go with. And we also give you a maturity benefit, you know, if everything goes well, you know. Lastly, we help you to manage your recovery as well, with the recovery support benefit of 5% of the basic sum assured. Okay, and in the recovery benefit, the PMCM service will kick in as well. And well, in the very least fortunate event, the worst case scenario is we will have a compassionate benefit of 10% of the basic sum assured, or the cash value if higher. So what's next? All right, if you have the interest, if you want to find out more about the Alive Beyond critical care product, feel free to download the product brochures with the QR code. Okay, just take out your camera and scan on it, and you can download the product brochures. Or the best is speak to your life planner to find out more. All right, I'm sure they are going to give you the best advice that suits your needs. Okay, that's all from my sharing today, and I'm passing back to Casey. Thank you.
Thank you for the sharing, Kim Seng. As Kim Seng mentioned, if you have any further questions regarding this, please do contact your life planner. Before we go into the lucky draw session, I would like to invite Casey to share on our recruitment. Casey is one of the directors of Wyatt & Associates and has been in the financial services industry for the past 15 years. He is a 5 times MDRT qualifier and also appointed as a master trainer with AIA. The floor is yours, Casey. On to you.
Thank you very much, Harry. And thank you, Kim Seng, for the explanation of the product. And of course, a very big thank you to Dr. Tharmaraj for being here today and to share with our team, our clients, and the people who are on this webinar, all the information that we need to hear, especially from a medical standpoint. I think it's not every day we get to hear it from a doctor or a medical professional to share all these things with us. It's so much better than just watching YouTube videos or maybe just reading things on the internet, which some could be very fake news as well. But thank you very much, and also Harry, great job moderating the Q&A. Okay, I'm going to go through mine very quickly. So I just want to let you know that we are actually always on the lookout for good people. Okay, some of you might have been here today and you are looking to find another source of income. We have what we call the Elite Academy. So right here, we're showing the slide here. Just want to show you, this is actually a giveaway contest on our Instagram. So I just want to highlight that to you. If you want to find out more, head over to our Y Associates Instagram account. If you don't know how to find it, it's just at Y Associates. Okay, you can find the Instagram channel. Find it, and it's very simple. We're giving away an Honor Band 5. You don't have to do anything. You just have to follow us on Y Associates Instagram, like the post, find this post, okay, that you see now, like it, and you get one draw, okay? Get one draw. And yeah, so that you can have a look at it, just look for this post, like it, and you get one draw. And of course, if you want to get more draws, okay, every person that you tag in the comments section, you will get an additional draw as well. Now you tag a person whom you find that, would like to earn some side income while still working their full-time work, just tag them there, okay? And as long as you tag them there and their awareness is there, we'll give you an extra draw. So take note that this contest is only going to run up to 15th of March. And, that way, in the 15th of March, we will announce the winner as well. Huh? So it's very simple only. I want you to think of these people, okay? Think of these people if you're tagging them. Of course, you can always refer to our life planners or refer to us. You can direct message us, DM us, think of some of these people here that are on the slide here, people who are experienced pay cut retrenchment, especially during the COVID, okay? Business owners seeking to have other source of income, people who can benefit from business opportunity, or maybe, someone who's not very sure about a career, or probably recent graduates, okay? So think of these people. If you know any of these people, just tag them on the Instagram page and you will be on the draw so that you can win that free gift of the honor band we have shared with you. Or by the 15th March, we will announce the winners on Instagram, okay? Of course, right after this, we're also going to have our Y Ambassador program, and Hafiz is going to do the draw live now, okay? So we're going to do a live draw. We know some of you have already been involved in the Y Ambassador program, have been referring people to us. So every time you refer a person to us, whether they are for the career, or maybe you want to engage them with us so that we can talk to them about the insurance plan and financial planning, you will actually get a draw. So I'm going to pass it on to not to Harry, but I'm going to pass it straight to Hafiz, right? So Hafiz is going to take over and he's going to do the lucky draw right now. Okay, stay on all the way. I wish you good luck to win. I think the prizes are quite exciting, And for those of you who are missing this one, okay, your name is not on the draw. It's okay. It's okay. We still have it ongoing for the next, I think, next 2 months, right? For the next 2 months or next 3 months, we're going to keep you having the draw, okay? So find out how you can get in there. And of course, for those of us who are watching live, okay, do connect with us on Facebook. If you don't have a live planner, but you're first time here, make sure you send a direct message or PM message to us right now. We can hook you up with a live planner, AI live planner from our team to talk to you about the critical illness plan that Kim Seng was sharing just now, okay? Or of course, about AI vitality or any of the questions that you may have, feel free to direct message us, PM us on Facebook and Instagram, okay? Thank you very much, and I'll pass it back to Hafiz. Hafiz, back to you.
All right. Thanks, Casey, for your sharing. Okay, I think we are at the pinnacle of our event. I think this is the most exciting part. Like most of you are waiting for the giveaway that we are doing for our Y Ambassador program. Okay, so just to start off with, I will just share with you guys again, just a fresh, quick reminder on what is Y Ambassador Bonanza all about. So what it is actually as a team, we are trying to give back to the clients as well. And then, we want to develop a relationship with you guys. So basically how it works is every single person that you refer to us, you will get a lucky draw entry, right? So we are doing it from 1st of January 2021 until 31st of March 2021, right? So, and the requirement is very simple. You just give us a name and then you get one lucky draw entry, right? They don't need to buy anything from us. You just need to give us the contact number, right? So just to refresh again, what are the prizes? So for those who referred to us in January, the prizes are AirPods, Fitbit Inspire, and prizes worth up to RM 200 ringgit. For February, it's AirPods Pro, Fitbit Inspire 2, and then other prizes worth 200 ringgit. And for March, it will be Apple Watch Series 6, Fitbit Inspire 2, and other prizes worth 200 ringgit. All right. Okay. So good news. We are actually, wait, sorry. I think I misclicked that. Sorry, give me a second. Okay, so good news is that actually we are planning to extend. We are extending it to the 30th of April 2021, right? And also we are giving out extra entries if, let's say, the person buys, we'll give you extra 5 entries, as well as if you refer and that person buys, you will get extra entries. And then if that person buys, he will automatically get 5 extra entries as well. Okay. All right. So let's start off with the prizes for today. All right. So we'll start off with the Touch and Go voucher worth 200 ringgit. Okay. So how I'm going to do it is very simple. I've already, wait, Harry, you can see my full screen, right?
Yeah, I can see everything, including the Excel sheet.
Okay, so it's I'm going to do a very simple process. Can you see the Google?
Yes, we can.
All right, so basically these are all of the names of the lucky draw entries that we have for the month of January, right? So the rules are simple. Basically, if let's say you refer to us in January, your names will be carried on towards February and March as well. Okay, that's one. Number 2 is that if, for example, let's say you win in the month for this lucky draw, if you win a prize, we will not remove your name from this lucky draw. Your name will be carried forward towards the next month. So, even if you refer to us early, it's it's not a problem. Okay. And number 3, for each lucky draw, you are only allowed, you're only entitled for one prize. So for example, let's say the person number 1 right here, she gets to win the prize this month, right? So if let's say her name pops up again, you know, it will not be carried. She won't be entitled for the prize for January. But for the month of February and for the month of March, she will be entitled for the prize. Okay. So how I'm going to do is very simple. I'm just going to go to Google. I've prepared a simple Excel spreadsheet. So we have all of the names. So 1 until 37, right? So what I'm going to do is very simple. I'm just going to do a random generator, right? And if you see here, the random generator, how it works is, sorry, need to close down my Zoom. Okay, so we have 1 until number 37. Okay, so basically once I press the generate button, the person whose number appears here will win the Touch and Go vouchers. All right, so are you guys ready? Okay, I'm gonna press in 3, 2, 1, generate. You generated. Okay, the number is lucky number 28. So let's see who is lucky number 28. Eng Jia Yi. Okay, congratulations, Eng Jia Yi. Are you here? If you are here, maybe you can put in the type box.
Hang on, let me look for Eng Jia Yi.
Oh yeah, she just replied. Okay, congratulations, Eng Jia Yi, number 28. You have just won yourself RM 200 ringgit worth of Touch and Go voucher.
Okay, I've allowed Eng Jia Yi to talk. Congratulations.
Oh, hi. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you. Can hear you. Can hear you very clearly.
I won a voucher.
Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So next, we will go for our second prize. Our second prize is Fitbit Inspire 2. This Fitbit Inspire 2 is actually worth about, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 300 ringgit. All right. So I'm gonna press the button again, and then let's see who wins the. So for example, right, Jai actually referred quite a number of clients to us. So she has multiple entries, but however, like what I mentioned before, she won't be entitled for this Fitbit Inspire 2 for this month. But then for the next month, she will still have these 5 lucky draw entries. All right. So I'm gonna press the button again. Okay, let's see who gets the Fitbit Inspire 2. Let's see, lucky number 5. Who is the lucky number 5? Crystal So Chu Hui. Are you here? Crystal?
Crystal So, let me check. Crystal, if you're here, please.
Crystal, if you're here, can you please type in the chat?
Crystal Ho,
Crystal.
So,
are you
Crystal
So?
So,
Crystal So. Yeah, Crystal So.
I don't think she's able to make it today.
I see. Okay. So one of the unfortunately one of the rules as well is that you need to attend for our webinar. So unfortunately, Crystal is not here. So we will have to do the draw again. All right. So this again is for the Fitbit Inspire 2. All right. So I'm gonna press the button again. Let's see who gets the prize. 1, 2, 3, go. Wait, it didn't go. Okay, number 26. Who is number 26? Wu Chi Chu. Wu Chi Chu, are you here? Wu Chi Chu, are you? Can someone test? Oh, hi! Congratulations, Mr. Wu Chi Chu.
Yes,
yeah.
Wu
So.
You, yeah, congratulations.
Fitbit Inspire 2. Okay, congratulations. I think Casey, you've allowed him to.
Yes, I've allowed. It says talking permitted. I'm not sure, but I can't hear anything. Are you here? We can't hear you, or maybe you can.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hi.
All right,
Hey,
hi, hello, congratulations. So you just won yourself a Fitbit Inspire too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, congratulations, Mr. Wu. Okay. All right. So next on, okay, so the final one, right? So the final one, we are giving out AirPods. Okay, Apple AirPods. And let's see who is the lucky winner for this Apple Pod.
Should be the airport first lah. Most.
Sorry?
Flash the airport price first. More changi. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the AirPod. So this is how an AirPod looks like, right? Okay. So let's
one, right? Not the fake one, right? It's a real one.
this picture we're giving out real one, of course lah. Of course, it's a real one. We're not gonna give fake ones, right? Right, it's all original. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's have the final one, the grand prize for today. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna press in 3, 2, 1. Number 28. Surprisingly, it's Jai again. But I'm sorry, Jai. Unfortunately, as I stated before, the rules is that technically you are ineligible because since you already win the 200 ringgit Touch and Go voucher. All right. So sorry for that. But okay, let's see. Okay, Mr. Google, let's see what number are you gonna give us next? Okay, 3, 2, 1. Generate. Number 36.
Whoa.
Daryl To. Daryl To, are you here? Mr. Daryl.
I think he's in.
Daryl is here. Daryl, I've unmuted you. Daryl,
are you here?
Yes, Daryl.
Hi, Daryl. Hi, congratulations. Okay, so you
Thanks.
just won yourself an Apple
AirPod Pro.
AirPods. This one is for AirPods. Next month is
okay.
yeah. Next month is
Wow.
Apple AirPods Pro. Okay. Okay. Congratulations to all the winners today. Okay. So like what I mentioned, those who won today, we won't delete your entries. So for the next upcoming lucky draws that we're gonna have, your entries will still be here. You will still be entitled to win the prize again for the next session, right? And for those who wants to participate, you can actually contact your life planner, and then they can submit your entries on your behalf. So you can for the next upcoming month, you stand a chance to win the prize that we are giving out. All right. So okay, so let me just re-highlight what is the prize for next month. Do you see the screen, Harry? Oh wait.
Yes, I can. So now it's at the moment. Yeah. Now I don't see any screen.
Oh, now you don't see any screen, right? Okay, wait. I need to reshare the screen. Okay. So I will reshare the screen. Okay, give me a second. Let me reshare the screen. Okay, so Harry, you can see the screen, right?
Yes.
All right. So like what I mentioned before, we are extending the Bonanza until 30th of April, right? And we are giving out more entries for you. So how it works is still the same way. If you refer to us, a contact, a person or a friend of yours, a family member, you will be receiving one lucky draw entry. And then if that person that you referred to us buys an insurance policy from us, you will receive 5 entries, as well as the person who bought, they will automatically receive 5 entries. So to enter is very simple. Just give us a name, and then it can be for if let's say they're interested to buy, or if let's say they're interested to know more about our career, we will be giving out these entries as well, right? So as I mentioned, we are extending it to 30th of April. So for the month of February and March, because February, it's a short month, so we are actually extending those entries for February and March to be entitled for the AirPods Pro, Fitbit Inspire 2, and other prizes worth 200 ringgit lah, right? And just to iterate again, the draws are rolling over. That means even if you refer to us early, you still have a chance to win for the upcoming months. Okay. All right. Okay. To all the winners, your live planners will be contacting you directly to give you the prizes. So yeah, Harry, the floor is back to you.
All right. Thank you, Hafiz, for that. Congratulations to all the winners. We hope you enjoy your prize, basically. We at Y and Associates hope you had a very informative session today. Thank you for joining us and taking your time to come and join us today. And we hope to see you in our subsequent webinars, seminars as well. Yeah, so that's all for today. Thank you very much for attending, and I hope to see you all soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Good evening, everyone, and stay safe.